Hi, it's Carol Lee from Wise Woman Ways, and I want to spend a few minutes today talking to you about why I try and spend a few minutes a day walking barefoot. There's a trend out there called grounding or earthing, and maybe you've heard of this, and I do think there's probably benefits to that, but that's not why I actually go walking out barefoot every day. I read this amazing book by Katie Bowman called Move Your DNA, and I think she's a physical therapist. I'm not exactly sure what her background is, but she has amazing research and evidence-based information in her book. And she talks about how hip replacements, broken hips and hip replacements have really skyrocketed a lot. And it seems as though the more and more equipment we get, I don't know equipment, but the more we walk on flat surfaces and the more we get these complicated high-tech shoes, the more our foot is only used to walking on flat surfaces, and it sort of loses the ability to walk on surfaces that are more complicated with little rocks or little branches or with inclines or descents. And we lose kind of those fine muscle movements required to use when we walk on an uneven surface with our bare feet. If we step on a little tiny pebble, our body really has to maneuver around to figure out how to manage that. Whereas if we were on a flat surface, you know, when we run or walk on a flat surface, we're using the same large muscle groups over and over again. And she talks about how, you know, you can get exercise doing that, but if you take off your shoes and walk on a really varied surface, you get a whole different kind of exercise. And I really became interested in that because I broke my back over 20 years ago, and I've had problems with my hip and balance issues. And a couple years back, I actually broke one ankle and really tore the ligaments on the other leg. Walking on a flat surface in San Francisco, and she says, you know, when you're so used to walking on a flat surface and then there's like a hole in the road or, you know, some cracks, your body just isn't used to dealing with those little differences. And that's exactly what happened with me. I stepped into this little hole and I broke my ankle, and I was in a wheelchair for a few months. And so I started reading a lot about that because it was easy for me to say, oh my gosh, I need better shoes, and I need to be more careful, and I need to really only walk on flat surfaces. It's really easy to go to sort of that fearful place and overprotect, whereas really I feel like it's been much more useful for me to let go of the fear and go to a place of simplicity. And there's something really interesting about walking barefoot because I may not actually go that fast, but I can feel, you know, when I hit a little branch or a little rock and it hurts a little bit, you know, my body really has to work to maneuver around that. And there's also something really beautiful and playful and youthful about getting out and walking in your bare feet. So I highly recommend it.